My name is Chris Sumner, and I'm joined by Brett Hendrickson. Welcome to the 45th Annual Manitoba 5-Pin Provincial Open Championship. We have a wonderful afternoon of bowling ahead of us. And just to give you a little bit of background on who is going to be doing our color commentating today, Brett, how about you talk a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, like you said, my name's Brett Hendrickson. I've been bowling for about 20 years, big fan of the game, and I'm glad to see we have technology like this these days that we can broadcast such a great event to everybody watching out there.
Yeah, we're really excited to be live streaming this event right now as we speak from Minnedosa Bowl, of course, in Minnedosa, Manitoba. We're right online, right on YouTube, and we're also connected through social media as well, and we're really looking forward to sharing this afternoon with you. So, Brent, let's talk a little bit about the format that's going to be happening this afternoon, because for folks that may not be familiar with what is called a step ladder format in the singles division, this may be a little bit confusing, but how about you take us through it and how this works?
For sure. So these guys have been bowling all weekend. The singles bowled on Friday, I believe. 10 games. The top 4 made it to the step ladder. 3 versus 4 have already bowled. So we're going into the semifinals. So these are one-game matches until the final. The person who qualified first gets double life. They have to be beaten twice in the finals to be eliminated. So after these matches is the finals. So yeah, big games.
Yeah, definitely big games. And how about we just do a quick recap of the men's 3-4 game? We just finished that up a little while ago. We had a couple of bowlers that you and I both know fairly well. I've known Aaron Humney now for, oh boy, I'd like to say almost 20 years. Ian I know a little bit as well. And what did we end up with our final score there?
Well, the first match, Ian defeated Aaron 229 to 171. Aaron was throwing good all weekend. Got into a little bit of punching trouble in the match, and Ian, with all of his experience, picked up his pins and took the victory.
All right, how about we transition over to the ladies' results in the 3-4 match, and there we had Lori Wiebe versus Bailey Moncour.
Well, first-timer Bailey Moncour, she threw a 270 her first game. Career high average of 197. Seems she steps up in the big moment. She's moving on to the semis.
Yeah, right on. So now we're in the semis here at the 45th Annual Manitoba 5-Pin Provincial Open Championship, and it's time to get to live bowling action. And our first bowler that's going to be introduced, Mr. Trevor Ray. So right now we're just doing the introduction to Trevor Ray out on the lanes, and as you can see there, Brett, Trevor is no stranger to 5-pin bowling. Hard to believe a fresh young face like as that has been 3 decades in 5-pin bowling.
It's amazing. He threw a 388 to bump himself up to the semifinals. He's got a tough test.
All right, so if you're just joining us now on YouTube Live, this is the 45th Annual Manitoba Provincial Open Championship. We're coming to you live from Minnedosa Bowl in Minnedosa, Manitoba. My name's Chris Sumner, alongside my color commentator today, Brett Hendrickson. And in our semifinal match here, we've got Ian Sylvester from Central going up against Trevor Ray in Westman. And Brett, how important is this first ball? You never want to put too much pressure on yourself, but how much do you want to see a successful first throw in this semifinal if you're Ian?
Well, with this format, he's been waiting a little while, chomping at the bit. It's been about 50 minutes since he bowled his last game, so his first shot's huge. Let's see what he's got this one.
Nice smooth delivery there. Looks pretty good. I would suggest that's a strike right out the gate for Ian in frame 1. Nice little high five, and here comes Trevor Ray from Westman. Again, Westman, for the most part, encompasses the city of Brandon, if you're not familiar with how the regional divisioning goes in 5-pin bowling. Trevor Ray, let me tell you, silky smooth bowler. I've watched him bowl for a long time. Doesn't have a huge backswing.
Yeah, just looked a little bit tight on that one.
Yeah.
Just needs to loosen up. Long game, though. If you're
Yeah,
gonna
and
get it
one
all
thing
out.
we should point out there, Brett, is Trevor's been only warming up. He hasn't been in game action really for quite a while today.
Yeah, it's been a bit. You got to find it, though. Only one game, so got to get right back on it.
There
Yeah,
it is.
great
Nice
shot.
spare. Yeah, nice spare.
Yeah, he threw a 388 in his last game in the singles qualifying, so it shows that he can go on a run. If he finds the side of the middle, he throws a nice speed. We'll see if pins will carry for him.
Yeah, knowing Trev the way I do, a big thing for him today is going to be just controlling the emotions, making sure that he doesn't get too up or too down, right? And I think that would go for most bowlers, but
Just a little bit off.
yeah, it looks like Trev might be what, maybe a board, 2 boards off there on his delivery.
No, he just seems a little bit stiff. He just needs to follow through a little bit more. Just relax. Long game. See if he gets the spare.
Yeah, there you go. Nice spare. Okay, so now we've got Trevor coming back, high five, and Ian. Ian's going to come up now, and he's going to bowl his second frame. Again, Ian had a strike in the first frame and already has a few pins up on Trev. But again, like you said, a lot of bowling ahead, Brett.
For sure. He's a big-time groove bowler, so we'll see if he finds his line. He's going to be really tough to beat. I'd have to say he's the favorite to take this step ladder.
Ian very focused.
Yeah.
Oh, he did not like something there with that throw.
Yeah, no, he knew first step. When you are so focused, when you know what you need to do, sometimes you can pick up that you've made a mistake before you've even taken your full first step. So.
Yeah. I have to wonder, Brett, if that ball coming up the return might have been the thing that just threw him off a little bit, because it seemed once it came up the return, that's when he decided to pull the chute. Nice throw. Looks like another strike there for Ian Sylvester in the second frame. So he's got himself a 2-bagger to start. Of course, Turkey would be 3, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here just yet. A very good example, Brett, of a veteran bowler pulling back and resetting.
100%. Yeah, you'll see it at big tournaments, cash tournaments, nationals, provincials. They call it a balk, a baseball term. The pitcher gets ready for his delivery, and he slips up, and you get a free base in bowling. There's no penalty. As a matter of fact, some would argue it's one of the toughest things to do in the game.
Very smooth delivery. Looks a little thick on that head pin, and yeah, it is. First head pin of the day in this semifinal, and I'm sure Ian's thinking, unfortunately, it's going to him, Brett.
Well, no big deal. He's hitting what he's aiming for. 3 shots in a row. Let's see if he cleans it up. This shot's worth double, so it's a very, very important shot.
Here's the delivery and the throw. Looks like he's going for the right side, 2-3. Only able to pick up the 3-pin there.
Again, 4 shots in a row. He's hitting what he's aiming for. All he needs to do is just loosen up a little bit and get that ball moving, couple boards, and he'll be all right.
All right, here's the third ball in the third frame for Ian Sylvester, looking to try and pick all those pins. Was able to get the left 2-3, and that's about as good as you're going to get in that particular setup with that head pin.
Yeah, that puts him back a little bit. If Trevor can find a strike in this frame, he'll have the advantage going into 3-4. Trevor just needs to loosen up and get it on the middle.
Yeah, this would be definitely a good opportunity here for Trev to start putting together some black marks. Obviously, with that spare in the second frame, a strike here would go a long way. Looking good. A little thin on that head pin.
Yeah, just hit it really thin, and with his speed, he's not really going to carry. From what I've heard from some of the bowlers, some of those really thick hits and some of those really thin hits, they're not carrying the corners, but hey, corner pin on a spare, it's a huge count. If he takes this down, it puts him ahead.
Yeah, again, focus on these 2 pins is so very important. Looked like a good toss, and he was able to pick it up. Very good.
It's a spare game.
One thing we should point out here, Brett, before we get too far down the line, is that Minnedosa Bowl, this house is a string 5-pin. It's not the free fall that we see in some lanes, and there is different action and reaction to the pins in this environment as compared to a free fall.
Of course, yeah. Free fall's been faded out pretty quick over the past 5-6 years. There's no more free fall left in Winnipeg. I believe there's one center. I think it's Carmen. Still has 2 free fall lanes. I bowled there last year, and yeah, it's different. It's a different game, a little bit more of a power game now. So Trevor Ray's kind of a throwback.
All right, Trevor Ray, there you go.
Great shot.
First strike of the day for Trevor Ray, and doing really what he needed to do. He needed to get at least a spare in that third frame to keep pace here, with Ian now putting that strike up. And now we're handing back things over to Ian Sylvester. Let's keep in mind, Ian did have an open frame in that third frame with that head pin, so I'm thinking, Brett, obviously looking for some sort of black mark here.
Well, we just want to make sure that we stay on the middle. We don't want to miss. We want to make sure that we stay hitting what we're aiming for.
Looks pretty good there. That would be
That's
a strike.
a great shot.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and you were mentioning the speed of Trevor versus Ian. There definitely is a velocity difference here in the speed that these 2 fellows are throwing.
Yeah, and there's not an advantage one way or the other. With the harder ball, you might carry the corner pins and some of the thicker hits. With that slower ball, you can cross over the head pin a little bit better and get some of that good reaction. But you know what? Ian throws a lot of stuff on his ball, so he's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and you were mentioning he definitely is hitting everything he's aiming at, and that is a very good sign, especially in these semifinals, because you don't want to be having too many mishits at this stage of the game. Just a little off.
Just a little bit off, yeah. Just needed that one board of movement. He knew it was a big shot, but you know what? 30s are your friend.
Now, one thing that we should also point out, too, is when it comes to bowling alleys, we have synthetic lanes and then we have non-synthetic lanes. In this case here at Minnedosa Bowl, this house, what is it?
It is wood. The lanes are wood, so you get a little bit more movement. I'm not sure when the last time that they dressed the lanes were. It doesn't look like the ball's moving too much for these guys. So you're going to have to slow down your speed a little bit, or you'll just have to put a little bit more stuff on it to get that reaction you're looking for.
And there's Ian going with the third ball to clean up that 15 that he was needing. So obviously we're going to put Trevor back out on the lanes. He's on lane number 1. And some opportunity again here, Brett, for Trev to make up some ground in a pretty big way if he can get just a black mark.
For sure. A double here would be massive. It would put him way up. 2 open frames for Ian so far. This is a big shot here.
Looks a little off, yeah. Yeah, I think, and again, it's been a long time since I've competitive bowled, but I think with those tendencies that we're seeing to the right side here, a little tight. Like you're saying, a little tight.
Yeah, you can tell a lot. You want to be accelerating when you throw the ball. You don't want to be decelerating. And sometimes when you're trying to place it in the pocket, you decelerate a little bit. Oh, that's a tough break right there. That was a bit of
a tough break there. That was a very good pin action coming off that head pin on the 5-3. Just didn't clean up that 2.
It just blew the ball right through the 3 pin. Product of a little bit uptick in speed. He could be feeling the pressure a little bit. Sometimes it's just a bad break. Just comes in at a bad angle.
But he did the right thing and he got the cleanup. He didn't leave any points out there, and that's certainly in this at this stage of the game in the semifinals of the Open, you can't be leaving any pins out there on that third ball.
Yeah, everything. You'll hear me say this is a big shot quite a bit, but when you're bowling 1-game matches, they're all big shots.
Yeah,
it's not hyperbole. It's what it is. You got to make sure that you're on your game every single time you throw the ball.
So it looks like Trevor here taking a little bit longer than he has up to this point in his setup. We're about halfway through this first game here. Trev's on his 6th frame, getting lined up on lane 2. Good delivery. Looks like it's on the 5 pin. Just a little thick on that left side of the head pin. Yeah,
see the difference there is since he was a little bit slower, he got the corner. A guy who threw a little bit harder, that head pin would have blown right by that 3 and wouldn't have got the corner. So this is a little bit easier of a spare than a chop off. He's in a good position. He's 10 pins up after 5. If he gets this spare, he'll stay a little bit ahead, and we'll see if Ian answers. Great shot.
Yeah, nice spare there for Trevor. So Trevor's now completed through 6 frames, that is, with a 136. Ian is now coming up on lane 1, coming into his 6th frame, and is at a 111. So we do have a 25-point gap here, so at minimum 1 black mark for sure. 2 in a row would be preferable for Ian to get back on track here.
Definitely. He throws a strike here. He wrestles back the advantage.
Good ball. Oh, thick again on that head pin.
That's okay. He's still got a lot of time to work. Gets this 10 points here. Keeps him in the match. And big 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, and it's really important here for Ian to get past that head pin and just throw the ball.
Yeah, he's had a couple this game. He hasn't missed the middle on his first shot yet, but it's tough when you're punching those 3 pins on those second shots. It makes you wonder if you're just throwing it a little bit flat.
Yeah. Looked like he had maybe a little bit extra mustard on that second ball there, so maybe a little frustration.
Oh, for sure. It's tough not to. 5-pin's such a game of failure. It's really hard to stay positive the whole time, as ball racks across the country would show you.
Yeah. Well, and again, too, with any sport, especially when you're in the playoffs and heading toward a final, those emotions, they're running high. And just with any competitive sport, bowling in particular, in singles especially, keeping those emotions in check, a huge part of the game.
Well, who doesn't want to represent their province at the highest level, right? Throw on that black and gold. It's huge. And Ian's been there before. He knows what it takes. So this will be a big telltale sign of whether he's got it today or not.
All right, 7th frame for Ian, definitely looking to get a strike here to get things back on track. Looks like a good delivery, left side of the 5-pin.
Looks like he's just trying to hit it a little bit thin. He's just trying to find that strike shot rather than just throwing a good shot, you know?
Yeah, aiming more so than throwing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely a danger in bowling, is that if you start aiming rather than just going through your normal setup and delivery, it can get you into trouble pretty quickly. Ian's second ball, just a little right of the head pin. Got a 10 count on the board now in the 7th frame. Definitely going to be looking to get this 5 spot out there just to make sure he cleans up this 15.
Yeah, just a second miss of the game. Just have to see what Trevor does with his 2 shots to see how far he can take advantage of this. 3 open frames in a row, it's really tough. Yeah, it'll be hard to recover from those 3 open frames.
Well, and like you said, this is an opportunity for Trevor to take advantage and really take some direction in this game, but he has to do it. It's not a given. He does need to get out there and put a good ball on the deck.
Yeah, got to execute.
So again, this is Trevor Ray representing Westman. He's on lane 1 with the throw. Looks like a good delivery on the head pin, and
that's
looks
a great
like
shot.
Maybe just shy of that right 2-pin.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do. He got that huge count. Just keep the marks going, get spares where Ian's going open, and just stay way up on him.
Yep.
Try to build up that advantage so that once they get to the 10th, he doesn't even need to throw.
All right. Big spare possibility here for Trevor Ray. Looks like a good delivery and sneaks it in there.
Yeah, knew it right out of his hand.
And that's a spare for Trevor.
Well, you can tell he's locked in just by the body language after he throws. When he's going for those corners, you can see as soon as he releases it, he knows where it's going. So he's really locked in.
Yeah, Trev, I've always found over the years, he's the kind of guy that you can tell moments after he's released if it's going to be a strike or a spare, or he's going to get the black mark in the frame. He knows what's happening. It's going to be tight. There's that strike. How does that change things now, Brett, going with back-to-back spares and then putting that strike out on the board?
Well, Ian's got a max of 274 on the board. Trevor, if he goes 30-30-30, he's got 269. That's not to say he doesn't double up in 9, but it's a big road back here for Ian. He's definitely got to have this one.
Yeah, very important shot here for Ian Sylvester, who won the 3-4 game to get into the semifinal. We'll see what happens here in moments. The delivery looks pretty good.
Head pin
another
again.
Head pin. So at this stage, Brett, what would you say has maybe transpired over the last 3 or 4 frames that has put Ian in this head pin punching position?
You know, it's tough to say. He throws from an angle. His ball doesn't move a whole lot due to the way he releases it. The angle's all created by where he releases the ball. You know, just the line he's working and the adjustments he's made just haven't made an impact this game.
All right, so Ian's looking to clean this up, get his 15. Was not able to get that last 2-pin. So 152 for Ian Sylvester, 8 frames complete. Ian's going to come up on lane 2 now, and at this stage of the game, if my math serves me correctly, he definitely needs a strike here to keep any sort of pressure on Trevor coming down the home stretch.
For sure, you got to give Trevor something to think about before that last frame. If you go in with an open here, it's over, basically. So we got to get at least a spare here to have any glimmer of hope moving on to the finals.
Ian taking a little bit more time, which is okay, making sure that focus is there, going through his pre-shot routine, finding his mark. Here's the setup. And the release. Looks like it's slightly off the head pin.
Great shot.
And was able to get that strike. And like you said, Brett, Trev has something to think about now.
That's right. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much the other bowler has an impact on you when you're in match play. I know some people will bury their head in their arms, or they'll listen to their headphones. They'll try to not watch what the other person does, but in a place like this, it's small. I mean, you can't really get away from what's happening in front of you. So.
Yep. Oh, here, another opportunity to show that veteran bowling acumen. Trevor pulling back, saying, you know what, I'm not ready to make this throw. I'm realizing, Brett, that this is probably the most important throw of the tournament so far for him.
Well, he wants to take care of it now, right? If he buries this one, it's pretty much over.
Looks like a good throw on the head pin, left the left corner up. Now again, this is going to back up onto that strike and should be in a pretty good position here if he can spare this up to lock things up here.
Yeah, spare makes it so good count, and his first shot in 10 would wrap up the game for him.
There's that spare.
Doesn't even need to watch it.
Yeah. Trev basically on cruise control now. A black mark here would be a nice thing, but he's in pretty good shape.
For sure. Well, it looks like that confidence he gained from that 380 through is coming through in a shot right now. He's getting some corners. Hopefully it can carry for him in the finals. Yeah.
All right, here goes Trevor Ray, setting up. Nice delivery. Looks like it's on that head pin. There's that strike. And I would suggest that Trev is going to be moving on in our step ladder today.
I would say barring a couple trips over the foul line, he is moving on. I'd probably throw this one from the pit.
Yeah, Trevor just taking a few extra moments here, letting that ball return. I haven't actually noticed, does Trev run with 2 balls or just 1?
A lot of guys these days, they only throw 1 ball.
Okay.
If they miss on their first one, they'll just throw a house ball for their second shot.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's just throwing the same
strike.
one. Just keeping it on the lane. Just keeping it on the lane.
Yep.
He's all smiles now. Hey, that's a tough competitor he just beat. He went to the C5 singles competition 3 years in a row. So Ian's no slouch. He is a great representative for this province, and yeah, the quest for 4 has been stymied by Mr. Trevor Ray.
All right, so Trevor's coming down the home stretch here. Final ball in this stepladder match from Trevor Ray in frame 10. Obviously looking for the spare here to cap things off and make the crowd pretty happy, and looks like he got it.
Hey, great game. 269. Moving on to the finals against Scott Adamson.
Yeah. Now, at this point for Ian, obviously we know Trevor's moving on, but still an opportunity here to go out with some positives, I'm thinking. Unfortunately, another head pin.
Well, maybe his memory of this weekend will be a little bit worse than it would have been if he would have struck out, but hey, sometimes you punch 5-6 times a game, sometimes you throw a 400.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing in bowling, whether it's 5 or 10 pin, really a board or 2 is the difference between a 300 or a 450 or, a 175.
Yeah, yeah. Especially here, it seems like the scoring isn't too high. There's been some big games, but yeah, Trevor just nice and consistent. 269. It's a solid score that'll win you a lot of matches.
All right, so we have completed the men's semifinal at the 45th Annual Manitoba 5-Pin Open Provincial Championship. Again, if you're just joining us, it was Trevor Ray out of Western taking on Ian Sylvester from Central Region, and the final score was 269 for Trevor Ray, 190 for Ian Sylvester. So a very good game. When we have a look at what we reflect on what we just saw there, what are some of the things that stand out for you regarding Trev? Obviously now is going step up.
Well, I really like the speed that he had on his ball that game. Just from some of the games I've observed when I got here, if you have a lot of speed, if you don't cross the head pin enough, you've been getting a lot of chops. Some splits even, it doesn't carry that too. And that nice speed, he's carrying that corner, he's giving himself a lot of sparable shots. And, I mean, take a look at the scoreboard. He got them all, right?
So we're just going to take a couple of minutes here. Our technical crew, who is being led by Ken Wilson out of Carmen 5-Pin Bowl, he's just taking care of a lot of our technical jargon and whatnottery this afternoon. So we're going to take a very short break here. We do want to alert our listeners and our viewers on YouTube that our mics are live all the time, and Brett and I are definitely going to control our language as best we can. But for the young ones that may be watching, we can't control all of the atmospheric noise that may be coming through. So just in case there is maybe some language that comes through that is not exactly what you're looking for, we do apologize in advance. But we're going to take a short little break here, and then we're going to come back with the women's semifinal very shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 45th Annual Manitoba 5-Pin Bowler Association Open Provincial Championship. Chris Sumner and Brett Hendrickson coming to you live from Minnedosa Bowl in Minnedosa, Manitoba. We just completed the semifinals in the men's division with Trevor Ray from Westman moving on to the final. We're now moving into the semifinals now on the women's division, and that is going to feature Christy Wilson and Bailey Moncourt. And just tell us a little bit about Christy there, Brett.
Well, lots of open experience. She's been there, done that, comes from a great bowling family. Definitely has the experience advantage in this match.
What can you tell us about Bailey? Do you know her very much?
You know what? Not very well. I've never seen her bowl before. She has a career high average of 197, but she came out in that 3-4 match and threw a 270. Started with a 4-bagger, so maybe she's just one of those bowlers that steps up in the big moments. We'll see if she can take down the more experienced Christy Wilson. All
right, so we're going to have our Christy Wilson, Bailey Moncourt semifinal now in our ladder championship for the Open Championship, Manitoba 5-Pin Bowling, and Bailey is going to be throwing first and obviously looking to build off that 270, I'm sure, with a strike right out of the gate.
Well, when you have somebody who comes in with a lower average, she's going to have to ride the wave. The big difference you'll notice is that she probably won't clean up her wood as well as Christy, so getting a lot of strikes, a lot of spares in a row is going to be absolutely massive for her.
All right, so she took the right side 3-2 out the gate on her first ball on lane 2, looking for the spare just off the head pin.
Just getting those jitters out. She had a big game the last one. She knows she's capable. She just has to relax and throw that good ball.
Yeah, exactly. This here, an early test, I would suggest, Brett, just having that lone head pin out there just to get her back on track with that spot.
Well, when you're doing the match play, when you start, you throw the first frame, and then your opponent throws the next two. Throwing a really good shot that you can tell yourself, hey, that would have been a strike. Yep. Maybe carry it over to your next one.
All right, so here's Christy Wilson. She is from Central Region, and again, like you said, Christy has a very extensive 5-pin bowling background. Lots of experience here. We'll see what her first ball on lane 1 looks like.
Just getting it out. Just getting the jitters out. It's been a while since she's thrown a game. Just has to find the range. Looks like she just kind of placed that one a little bit. She just needs to chuck and get that follow through going.
All right. Lots of extension on her setup there, I'm noticing. Holds the ball away from her body. And here comes the throw and the release, looking for that spare just outside the right side of the head pin. And very similar situation here to what we just saw from Bailey.
Yeah, throw a good shot here. The advantage is Chris will get to throw her next shot right away. So if she can bury this one right in the pocket, maybe she can replicate it on her next shot.
All right, here goes Christy looking to clean up the wood. Score of 15.
That looked a little better.
Looks pretty good. Yep.
You can definitely tell the difference between that shot and the first two.
Yeah, like you said, you just get those jitters out the first ball or two, and then things can smooth out pretty quickly. So Christy's going to take a moment here and get herself collected, a couple of breaths, and get ready to go here for frame 2 on lane 2. Looks like a pretty good release just outside that head pin on the right side. What do you think of that throw?
Well, it looks like she placed it a little bit. She didn't really fall through, so the ball didn't snap at the back end. So the ball hit the head pin kind of flat and blew through the 3. So hopefully she can pick up this spare and start building some momentum.
Yeah, good opportunity here to set the stage for a string of black marks if she's able to get this spare. Again, we're looking at the right corner pin that Christy is trying to score here. Looks like a good ball. Dead ringer.
Best thing about corner pins is you can't punch them.
All right, so Bailey Moncourt now coming up for her second frame of game. Bailey defeated Lori Wiebe in the 3-4 match earlier today and is under the bright lights here for one of the first times in her career.
Yeah, this is a big spot. If you've never bowled match play and you're fighting for an opportunity to represent Manitoba at the national championships, that's a pretty big leap from your Tuesday night mixed league.
Yeah, it is definitely. Another throw here from Bailey, her second ball in the second frame. Again, just offside the head pin, and I'm thinking, Brett, maybe just a little bit of jitters, maybe an opportunity here to kind of reset and get your thoughts back in order.
Just trying to throw a strike and not just throwing the ball.
Yeah. All right, so Bailey throwing her third ball in the second frame, looking to clean up this head pin just off.
Yep, she just needs to throw a good shot here. One or two just to get that good feeling. Just got a lot of bowling left.
Yeah, as we saw in our first semifinal match there between Ian and Trevor, things really didn't change until that 5th or 6th frame. There's so much to do in a game. There's so many throws that you can put out on the lanes.
Well, Ian went open a few frames. Trevor was throwing corners. He'd sprinkle a strike in there. Well,
now this is looking
better.
Pretty good. Just off at the last second there. It looks like it almost took a bit of a dive just as it got to the head pin there.
Well, she has a lot of movement on her ball at the back end, which is great for this center because it's really hard to generate it. She just needs to harness it in and get it on the middle.
All right, very important shot here for Bailey at this early stage of the game. A spare would be nice just off that head pin on the right side.
Experience is really shown so far. Again, there's a lot of bowling left. She's got to throw this one to get some confidence.
Yeah, this is an important shot, just to get that feeling of where the head pin is again in your throw.
Yeah.
A little bit of emotion there, but in a positive way coming through.
Hey, like I said, 5-pin bowling is a game of failure. If you can somehow take those failures you have and learn from them and execute the next time you're up, you can come back in any situation.
All right, Christy Wilson working on a spare in the 3rd frame here in our women's semifinal. On lane 1, looks good on the head pin. I would suggest that's a strike.
That was some good follow through there. Balance was a little bit off at the end. Hopefully that's not a speed issue. But hey, everything else is great. If you're 99% good, you usually get a good result.
We make our own luck, as they say. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's Christy in lane 4 now working on a strike spare combination. On lane 2 at Minnedosa Bowl, very deliberate setup and delivery, and that looks very good on this head pin.
Ooh.
Now that's the dreaded split.
Yeah, happy birthday, right?
Yeah, that always makes you feel good when you're 5-pin bowling, when you see those 2 corner pins staring at you.
You know what, though? I'm sure she's not too upset about that. She knows that if she stays on the middle and she stays consistent, she's going to take this match.
And the other thing is, too, she did hit her spot for the most part and got that head pin on that first ball.
Millimeter difference between aces and a corner pin.
Nice pick up there of the left corner. Again, we always want to clean up all the wood that's left out on the deck there when we're in 5-pin bowling. No opportunity to give away points. Christy now looking for that second right corner 2-pin. Here comes the delivery. Looks pretty good. Just a little bit off, though.
Yeah, I think she's okay with it so far. Of course, it'd be nice to get a double and win this match by the 6th frame, but
typically that doesn't happen at this level.
No, of course not.
All right, we're back to Bailey now in the 4th frame, lane 1. Looks like a good delivery there on the head pin. Just some awkward pin action is how I would describe that on that right 3. It just did not bust the way you would want it to.
Yeah, she was going a little bit quicker than she was in the 3-4 match. The ball didn't have enough time to break all the way across and send the head pin into the right deuce.
There's that corner pin pickup, and
Big
there you
spare.
go. So that's going to be a big confidence booster there for Bailey as she comes into frame 5.
Hey, for someone with a lower average, if you come in and you can spare your corners at this point in a tournament, that's huge. Just it bodes well for her future in the sport.
Yeah, well, and a strike here really starts to make Christy think about things a little bit, but a strike would be important here from Bailey. Looks like it's a little thin.
Big shot.
Picked up that strike. Very nice shot.
Takes her 2 frames. Spare strike, does what she needs to do.
All right, so now we're going to revert back to Christy Wilson here. It's frame 5 for Christy. She's back on lane 1. She obviously is 1 frame, quote-unquote, behind Bailey.
Yeah, she's got the score advantage right now, so throw a nice frame here and we'll keep the advantage.
Nice smooth throw there.
Oh. Wow!
That was a thick head pin, but with a little bit of English, she was able to get that strike.
Hey, you got to hit the middle on the side to get breaks like that. It was a great shot. Everybody say, oh, that was lucky, but you make your own luck, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that she held with that shot, watching it right to the bitter end when that 2-pin fell over. That was fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of times in the sport, you can't take your eye off it. You never know what's going to happen.
All right, frame 6 for Christy. First ball now working on a strike in the 5th. Here comes the delivery. Looks good. Right on that head pin.
Ooh.
Just a little thin. Now we got to chop off on the right side.
Yeah, I guess technically it's a hit. A little bit too thin, but yeah, makeable spare. Keep those marks coming.
Yeah. One thing I always found when I was in YBC is that people think this 3-2 is an easy pickup. It's not an easy pickup.
Well, you never practice it, right? Everybody practices hitting the head pin in the corners, but you don't often practice your threes.
There we go.
Yeah,
nice
great
spare.
shot.
Nice spare by Christie. So putting some pressure on here on Bailey for sure, who at this stage of the game really needs to string together a couple more strikes to get things back on track.
Well, it could be one of those things where she's so new to this level of bowling, she doesn't know what she's up against, right? So
there's a good throw. Just a little over curl.
Oh, that's all right. It's on a strike. She can still get that 30. Just has to bury this one in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly. This is a fairly important spare, a pretty important second ball for Bailey Moncourt in this women's semifinal. Really needs to come out of here with a spare.
Yeah, Christy looks like she's feeling it pretty good.
Just a little thick on the head pin.
Yeah, didn't break across. Just one of those ones you throw it a little bit too good and nail it right on the face.
All right, opportunity now for Bailey to pick up the 15 in this sixth frame in our women's semifinal match. Ball has been released. Looks like another punch.
Yeah, I would argue she needs a seventh frame. She needs at least a spare. I would say a good hit on the head pin, and a spare would be massive. If she doesn't get it, I think Christy's feeling good enough right now. She can probably ride the momentum to the end of the match.
Yeah, really a good opportunity here for Bailey to get some feel good head pin action, because she has had a bit of a tough go here, and there is what she's looking for.
Great shot.
That moved quite a bit. I have to say, I didn't think she was going to get that head pin.
Yeah, the last couple feet on the lane, it really busted in there, and head pin went nice into the left side. The ball went nice into the right side, and she's not dead yet.
Yeah, had a good splash. Christy Wilson now coming up into frame 7.
You really take a stranglehold at this point.
Yeah, if she can put a strike on the board here, that is definitely going to change the face of this game pretty quickly. Here's the delivery. Looks pretty good. Another thick head pin.
Hey, that's a good carry. She had a similar hit to that, and she got aces. This is obviously a lot more spareable than aces, but
the pin splash on that one was almost identical to that last strike that she had, where that 2 fell down like 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience bowling here to know how often you get those splashes off the back, but the corner pin's still a really good shot.
There
Great
we go.
spare.
All
Hashtag
right.
better Wilson.
All right, so Christy's able to string together here 2 spares, and prior to that, a strike. Open frame back in the 4th. Strike here, and things are going to be looking pretty tough moving forward for Bailey.
Yeah, this will tell you if we even need to bowl the last couple frames.
Nice delivery from Christy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now that is going to be a bit of a tough one to spare. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but I would think that Christy in this case is going to be going for that 2-3 on the left side.
Well, she throws a little bit of a hook, so she can get that 3-pin going into the right deuce. It's really tough. You have to weigh getting the count, just keep getting those pins, or if you really want to go for the spare. I don't think it's that big of a shot. I think she'll just go for the 5, but...
And this is a spareable split. It's much easier than aces, but it's still pretty difficult.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I spared a split.
Just a little much much English.
Yeah, she was going for that thin hit. Just pick up the 3 and watch to see what your opponent does. Get ready for the 9 and 10. All
right, so now are you thinking she's going to go for that 3 or the 2-pin? Because at this stage of the game, she could get some 2-pin practice if she chose.
I'd probably go for the higher pin here. Yeah, you just want to make sure you're counting as much as possible. Yep. And you know what? 180 is a nice round number.
All right, here comes Christy Wilson in frame number 8. Going for that 3-pin. And just missed it, but let me tell you, if she would have caught that, that might have been darn close to hitting that 2-pin.
She might have got that 5.
All right, so Bailey Moncourt back up now. She's in frame number 8, and Bailey's at the stage in this women's semifinal where she does definitely need a strike, I have to say, coming out the gate.
Yeah, she's been having a tough time on the on lane 1. Throws a good shot there. Yep. Doesn't get rewarded, but again, it's spareable. She takes this down and spares it. She would be down by less than a frame.
All right, opportunity here to get that left corner pin and a spare for Bailey coming down the home stretch of the final 2 frames.
This is her good corner too. She can just lay it down and let it
just snuck it in there.
Throw that big hook right into it.
That's a big smile from Bailey. She's feeling good about that shot, as she should. That was a great little spare to pick up.
Hey, this is great. First time on this stage. Nice and loose, throwing a good shot. It's great.
All right, we're now coming into frame number 9 here for Bailey Moncourt. First ball, frame 2, looks good.
Ooh.
Little thick, and there's that dreaded head pin we saw in the men's semifinal more than a few times.
Yeah, it's tough to see. You throw it a little bit harder, you hit the right pocket. Throw it a little bit softer, hit the left pocket. You throw it perfect.
That's nice there, taking that left side 2 and 3 pin, and now obviously Bailey's going to do her best to clean up this 15 count with the right side.
Most definitely not over yet. We've seen that Bailey can run strikes. But, I mean, the ball's completely in Christy's court. She can take the match right here if she chooses.
Very much so. Nice opportunity to get the cleanup. So, yeah, at this stage of the game, if you're keeping score at home, Bailey can max out with 45 additional points in that 10th frame. So that would put her in that 223 range, I think?
213.
213 range. So really, if Christy can pot together a strike here and an additional black mark, it's going to be out of reach. There's that strike.
Yeah, just making sure it doesn't come down Bailey bowling at the end.
Yeah.
Well, that's why in match play, a lot of guys like to throw second because they like to finish the game first. They want all the pressure on the other bowler when they come up, or to just take care of the match by itself.
Mm-hmm. All right, so had some things going on out there. Oh, here they come. The balls are stuck in the back. We're all good.
One good hit, match is over.
Yeah, all right. Christy's coming up. We're now in frame 10. First ball, lane 2. Here's the delivery. A strike pretty much seals the deal. And there it is.
Yeah, definitely looking to make her first singles appearance, it seems, since 2012. So it's been a while since she's been the singles rep. She's really looking to make it back there.
Yeah, Christy's looking very good in this match. She had a couple open frames there, but for the most part, very strong today. A little off with that one, but she already knows she's got this one in the bag.
Well, I think with that shot, she realizes her best course to getting a strike is throwing it in that right pocket. Getting a little bit of the hook up into the right pocket will give her the best pin action.
All right, so this will be the final ball for Christy Wilson in this women's semifinal, looking to get that spare. There it is.
Yeah, you can definitely see her looking to get it in that right pocket. That's something to look for in the finals.
All right, Christy Wilson, who was awaiting the arrival of Bailey Moncourt in this women's semifinal, putting together a 242. And again, this match is over. But Bailey's going to go out there and do the best she can with the strike.
You got to give it up to Bailey. She's never been here before. She has a career high average of 197. Just for her to come in here, win her first match, and then come into this semifinal and go toe-to-toe with one of the best bowlers in Manitoba, that's great. Good for her. Like, I really, really hope that she takes this experience, practices, and tries to raise her game, because I really see a lot of potential in her.
All right, so this will be Bailey Moncourt's final bowl, or our final throw here in our women's semifinal, looking to get those pins and the spare, and she does.
That's a great run.
Yeah.
She should be really proud of herself.
Like
she did really well.
Her average is 197, and she got a 198 in provincials in the semifinals, so really she did bowl over average.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
You know, she did a terrific job. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Christy Wilson, the experience comes to the forefront. She gets her spares, throws a couple big strikes. Let's see what happens in the finals.
All right, so just to recap there, Christy Wilson, who was awaiting the arrival of Bailey Moncourt, who won that women's 3-4 match. Christy coming out on top. Final score of a 242. Bailey ended up where they won 188. So now we're going to get down to business here as we get into the men's and women's final. Things are going to get very exciting very shortly, and I guess coming into the women's final, what do you think Christy will be able to build on after such a strong match?
Well, the one thing I would worry about is trying too hard to get in that right pocket. You could see her last frame, she was really trying to hit the right side because she was in the left pocket most of the game, and she got that one really good break, but she also got those aces. She got that split. So, I don't know, it'll be tough. I really think that she needs to focus on throwing a good ball and not necessarily trying to buried in that right pocket specifically.
All right, well, we do have a number of very generous sponsors that have helped us out this weekend, bring to you the 45th Annual Manitoba 5-Pin Bowling Association Open Provincial Championship. We want to say a very special thank you to Agassiz Seed Farm in Homewood. Also, Anytime Fitness in Brandon. Carmen 5-Pin Bowl, of course, in Carmen.
Woo!
Minnedosa Bowl, which we're emanating from this afternoon. St. James Volkswagen in Winnipeg. And Thunderbird Bowl and Huggy Sports Lounge in Brandon, Manitoba. A big thank you to each and every one of our sponsors that have helped us out this afternoon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to our men's final, and we should just remind our watchers and our viewers that what exactly is going on today with this stepladder format.
So now that we're in the finals, Scott Adamson finished first in the qualifying on Friday, so he has earned the right. He has to be beaten twice. He averaged the highest. He's been bowling great. This is his first year bowling for Central. He was formerly a Winnipeg bowler. He moved out to Brandon. I guess he bowls league here in Minnedosa, so he's very familiar with this bowling alley. Look for him to get fired up. Every single shot is huge for this guy. And, he'll let his opponent know when he throws a big shot.
All right, so we're going to be seeing Scott Adamson and Trevor Ray taking on each other. A 14-year bowler, 241 career high average, and a diesel mechanic. Of course, Trevor Ray we met earlier in our men's semifinal.
Yeah, Scott Adamson definitely has the second best beard in the building right now.
Are you saying, Brett, that you have the first best beard?
100%. It's not even a contest.
Yeah, this should be a very, very entertaining men's final. And again, like you said, for Trevor Ray to advance, he would need to beat Scott twice.
Exactly, and a big contrast of styles here. We're going to have Scott Adamson throwing a heater right down the middle. Trevor Ray coming in with a little bit more finesse. Trevor a little bit more subdued. Hopefully he doesn't raise his urgency too much. When Scott throws a shot, and it's a good one, the whole bowling alley knows it. I'll just leave it at that. You guys are going to see it yourselves here. He's a very exciting young bowler. This is his first year out of YBC, and he's looking to represent Manitoba at the C5 Nationals, and yeah.
Is there ever any sort of intimidation factor when you have more of a finesse bowler facing a power bowler like Scott is?
It really depends who you are. I know there are some guys that get a little bit intimidated by those big bombs of strikes, and there are some people, I mean, personally, I get intimidated when I see somebody throw a small, like a really slow cracker.
There it is.
There it is.
There's that passion that you were talking about, Brett. Scott obviously feeling pretty good about that strike.
I think there was 2 fist pumps after that one.
There might have been.
Yeah, I think we're going to be at 4 or 5 by the end of the game.
All right, it's going to be important here for Trevor, I would suggest, just to play his game. Not get dragged into something that he's not used to.
You know what? He's been here before. He's bowled against some of the best this province has to offer. He's a great shooter, and if he can pick up his corner spares, I really think that the consistency of his game might overtake the inconsistent but really streaky nature of somebody who throws such a good power shot such as Scott.
All right, so Trevor Ray coming into ball 2 in frame 1 on lane 1, looking for this corner pin spare. Picks it up.
He hasn't missed one yet.
All right, so again, Trevor's going to bowl his second frame immediately here, and Trevor, of course, got to the men's final after defeating Ian Sylvester earlier this afternoon. And here comes Trevor now in frame 2, first ball, definitely looking to get a good splash here, preferably a strike. There's the delivery. Looks like it's on the head pin, just off.
Yeah, just a little bit off. He didn't really have the follow through at the end there. He kind of just, kind of placed it on the lane. He really needs to throw a lot of follow through and really get those fingers on the ball to get that carry he's looking for. But again, he has to stay on the middle too.
Yeah, absolutely. And here, definitely going to want to get this spare, not give Scott much of an opportunity to string together too many strikes.
Big shot.
Yeah, little thick on that head pin, but was able to get that pin action.
That speed, it just kept the head pin on the lane, didn't make it jump up and hit the 3 pin on the top, so it carried through.
All right, so Scott Adamson, like you said, first year out of YBC, bowling in the Open Provincial Championship here, and from an experience standpoint, obviously he's bowled at a high level in YBC based on what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, a little hard, blows through that 3 pin. That crossover shot for him hasn't really been working over the last couple matches. I think the right pocket's probably his best shot, but hey, a corner is not a bad shot. That he just needs to pick it up.
All right, here goes Scott now with his second throw, looking to pick up that left corner spare. Threw it a little outside.
You know what? Picking up those corner spares might be the difference in this match.
Well, and like you said, that finesse versus power game, we may see some of that discrepancy play into the ultimate outcome. All right, second attempt, little right.
Yeah.
Seemed like he stuck a little bit on the throw there.
You know what? The experience factor in these two finals is huge. I mean, Scott's been there when it comes to YBC. He's thrown a lot of big games. He's thrown big matches. But when you're bowling singles, sometimes you forget to drink water. Sometimes you forget to eat. You know, you're just so excited.
Yeah.
He just needs to slow down and throw a good shot.
All right, third frame now for Scott Adamson. First ball, lane 2. There's the delivery. There's that power game. A little thick on the head pin.
Just got to pick up. Oh, chop off.
Wow.
Hey, there's that power game coming through.
I'm guessing that head pin went to the moon and then fell back down out of orbit and hit that 2-3, because that was about 2 seconds before those pins went down.
Yeah, well, hey, it's only a break if you take advantage.
All right, so again, as we've mentioned in previous matches, this 3-2 you think is easy, but you don't practice it. So an opportunity here for a spare. And there
Big
it is.
shot.
Nice
That's
one
great.
for Scott.
Yeah, keep yourself composed.
Yep.
Say thank you for the break. Thank you for the spare. I'll do better next time.
All right, Trevor Ray now coming up into frame 3. First ball. And just loving the differences between the games here in this finesse game and power game. It's always so interesting to see those two collide at a high level like this. There's the delivery on the head pin, just off, just at the last second dived away.
You know what? He needs to get that hand up to at least his forehead when he follows through. It looks like he's just kind of putting it out on the lane, just trying to put it on the middle. He really needs to get that follow through to carry and hit his target, it seems.
All right, second ball now for Trevor in the third frame. There's a better delivery. Yep, like you said, that hand was almost at his forehead.
Well, you can see him kind of talking to himself, saying, okay, that's a shot, right? That's the one you want to throw in your first one. You don't want to wait till your second one to throw that shot.
All right, Trevor Ray now coming up on lane 2 at Minnedosa Bowl in Minnedosa, Manitoba. Fourth frame, very tight match right now. And really the count on this spare is going to be very important for Trevor. On the head pin, and just left that corner pin standing.
Yep. Ball just blew through the right 3. Is a great shot, and he's been all over his corner spares. If he can pick this up and just keep getting 28s, the consistency as the more experienced bowler will come through.
Yeah, here we go, right corner pin. Trev's been on them all day, and that continues.
Yeah, no mistake. I wouldn't bet against him.
All right, so Scott Adamson now coming into frame 4 on lane 1, working on a spare. Again, if we're going to get into this sort of spare match, that count on that first ball, Brett, is going to be tremendously important.
Well, I mean, if you can get an extra 8 on top of just throwing a 5 on your spares.
There's that power game. Big
shot. There's 2. There's 3. Yeah, we're up to 3 fist pumps, guys.
All right, so Scott now coming over to lane 2. And
just needs to take his time.
Frame 5.
Yeah, needs to take just as much time as he did after his first shot. Grab the ball he just threw, clean it off, take his time.
Yeah, it's very easy once you start getting on a roll to getting out of your routine. And in like a lot of sports, golf in particular, bowling, it's all about routine in that pre-throw setup.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see the power guys, if they get a little bit too amped, they'll throw a chop. Like they just won't have enough movement on the back end there. But
all right, here's the throw. Definitely on that head pin. Yeah, that was a very good splash, and the baton has been passed to Trevor here to answer, I would think, in some regard, at minimum, with a high count, but preferably a strike here.
Well, he knows that he's still really into it. He doesn't need a strike here. He just needs to keep playing his game.
Yep. You know, I would say, Brett, that Trev had a little more juice on that throw.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little bit more pop, but you know what? He had a little bit more of a follow-through. He got the ball out a little bit more, had that good roll, picked up all the pins.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to keep an eye on here as we come down the latter half of this game, is for Trevor in particular, is that follow-through. And if you start seeing that chop off, we're probably going to see some drop-off in the pin count.
Yeah, when you throw the ball with the speed that he has, you need to have some roll by the time it hits the pins.
There's that one. Looks like a tough split there. We got that 2-3-2 split.
Yeah, he's still in it though. There's a lot of frames left. If he picks up the 5, this one's still worth double. Just needs to stay consistent.
Yeah, you don't want to get too out of your game here. Just go for those pin counts, like you said. Get that 2, 3, and move on to your third ball.
Well, this one's still worth 10, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was a bit of a tough one.
Yeah, he thought it was going to back up. Again, he didn't have the follow through, so it didn't snap at the back end.
All right, so that was an open throw there for Trevor Ray on lane 2, and now he's going to try and get the max pin count he possibly can by going after that 3-2 on the right side. Just a little off there, Brett. What do you see?
Well, he's been throwing at just corner pins and head pins for the last little bit. Then you got to throw for the 3. It's a shot you haven't done in about an hour, so sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes you square up and your muscle memory just takes over and you throw it down the middle. All
right, back to the power game here with Scott Adamson. Nice throw. There's that strike again.
That is massive.
Definitely putting some pressure on Trevor now, really, no matter the outcome of this next frame.
Well, going open in the 6th there was it was very, very tough for Trevor, and with Scott throwing that turkey, and now we start really counting. That's that 4th, 5th strike that really start driving up that pin count.
Yeah, when you start plopping 45s into every frame because you're just tossing on extra strikes, the score can add up very quickly.
Well, it's amazing how just getting that chop off on that head pin just can fire you up enough to get your momentum going.
All right, we are into frame 7 here for Scott, and there is something that we have seen a couple of times, that head pin today, and again with that power game, no doubt about it, that was a head pin.
Oh, if you don't hear the door opening a little bit, then you got to go through it, Trevor.
All right, so here we go. Scott looking for some pin count here just to make sure that he doesn't leave anything out on the deck. He's got that 10 so far, still 5 left with that 2-3 on the left.
Yeah, so if Trevor throws 3 in a row, he will have 174, which will put him 14 back. So you always want to be within a ball going into the 10th frame. If Scott would have picked up that 3-2, it would have put him up just a little bit more. I mean, mathematics plays into it a little bit, of course. The higher score wins, but Trevor needs a mark here.
Yeah, definitely needs a mark. Just needs a good ball on this first throw as he starts his 7th frame on lane 1. Looks good. Got the juice on it. On the head pin, just a little thin.
Yeah, place it again. He's just not getting that little bit extra follow through to carry it right on the head pin. I think he's a little bit too worried about hitting it thick. He probably hasn't been getting too good of carry when he hits it thick. You don't want to be playing scared out there. You want to be aggressive.
All right, here we go. The spare shot on the left side, 2-3.
Yep.
Much better than we saw in lane 2 when he was going after that right 3-2.
Well, he throws that little bit of a backup going cross lane. It works out a little better. You can throw it right at the 3 and have it back up out of the way to pick up the 5. It's a little bit easier of a shot for a person who throws a backup.
All right, Trevor Ray representing Westman, now coming into frame 8 of our men's final. At this stage of the game, you don't want to say do or die, but a strike here is almost at that point. Looks a little left of that head pin.
Great shot.
Snuck it out.
Yeah, not dead yet. He's definitely fist pump, comes off the lane, gives Scott a nice hard high 5, says, hey, I'm not done yet, buddy.
All right, here comes Scott. Frame 8. Looking to build on that open frame and change his fortunes as he comes down the final third of the game. Again, power game from Scott all the way. Big throw. And another head pin.
Yeah, it looks like Trevor goes max in the 8th frame. He'll have 204. And Scott, if he cleans it up, will have 203. Oh, now he'll have max 198. So, I mean, Trevor can shut him out by striking out here. It's a big swing.
This is the third throw by Scott in this frame. Yeah, we didn't quite catch the second throw. It was through the port there for the head pin.
Yeah, he's got to take a breath. He's got to send a message to Trevor here that you're gonna have to strike out to beat me.
Yeah, this is where Scott, like you said, just needs to get back into that pre-shot delivery. Take a breath, calm the nerves. You're coming down 9-10 here in the game.
And don't be afraid of a head pin.
Another big throw on that head pin.
Oh my goodness.
So that is now 3 consecutive head pins, Brett. And are you thinking that this is maybe a spot issue potentially?
You know what? He was rolling pretty good in the middle there. Sometimes the younger bowlers, sometimes they just say to himself, I just got to put it down the middle. Well, you got to put it on the side, man, or else you're only getting the middle one.
All right, so here's Scott, third ball in this frame, looking to get the max count, was able to get the 2 picked up. And I would suggest, Brett, that the door has opened as about as wide as it possibly can for Trevor here.
Yeah, hopefully he opens the door and walks right through it. Scott's got a max 252. Trevor's got a max 294.
Yeah, big opportunity here for Trev. Really needs to get a high count. A strike here would really get him on the track again. Looks like a good throw on that head pin. And
oh, there it
out
is.
That strike.
Oh, that's a big, big, big shot. Sending a message.
All right, so now we're coming into the 10th frame here for Trevor Ray. He is working on a spare strike combination. And really a strike here is going to make Scott think about a lot of things coming into his 10th frame.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was that a dragon punch he just threw after that last strike?
Knowing Trevor Ray, you never know. Here's the delivery. Looks like he jerked that one just a little bit.
Still, big, big, big. He needs these pins. He needs to make Scott have to mark here.
Yeah. And again, we want to stress that with Trevor working on that strike spare in the preceding 3 frames, we're talking big points every pin he hits, so he doesn't want to be guttering this or putting it through the 5-pin port.
This one's still worth 10. You want to try to get as much as you can here, but you want to make it at least more than 15 to make Scott have to mark. And especially since he's punched the last three frames, you definitely want to be over 15.
All right, here goes Trevor Ray, second ball in the 10th frame, his final frame. Looking for the pickup, was able to get a 3.
That's big. That's pretty much what he needed to do. If he gets this last 5, it forces Scott to get 23, so he has to go mark, and then a good solid hit on the side of the head pin.
All right, so Trevor's going to take some time here, wait for that ball return, a couple of extra breaths, and we'll see what happens. But this, again, another example of how these matches have changed dramatically in that 4, 5, 6 area, just like we saw in the preceding women's match.
That was a big swing. And if he can take this match down, really makes things interesting for that second match.
All right, here we go. Trevor Ray looking for that right side. Needs a count. Was able to pick up the 5. And let's reset here and have a look. So Trevor Ray finishes this first match with a 230. Like you said, Brett, Scott requires a 23, which means a mark and a pretty solid count in order to wrap this up.
You know what? A strike pretty much does it, because then he can punch you, get the 5, and he'll be all right. But yeah, he might play it thin here.
Here we go. Big throw from Scott. Got that strike. Back on the mark again.
Yep.
All right, so again, he needs an 8 count to tie.
Yep.
A 9 count or more, and this match is over.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the tiebreaker rule is if they tie. No game, so they'd have to bowl this over again. Wow.
All right, so again, a big thank you to Ken Wilson, who's been our producer today, giving us the update on the rules. So again, if there is some sort of a tie, no games. So we're going to see hushed tones in the house.
Yeah, very, very
Ball
quiet.
2 for Scott Adamson. It is on that mark.
That's it.
And that would be
that's all he needed.
All he needed with that 11 count.
I can't remember the last time I saw someone so excited about aces.
It's not very often that you're going to win a championship with aces.
Well, you know what? On the contrary, last year's finals in Regina, Len Anseth threw aces on his last shot to win the championship by 1 pin.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
Congrats to Scott Adamson.
Let's review here, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Adamson again, 1 year out of YBC, throwing a 233. Trevor Ray out of Westman, throwing a 230. And of course, this means that Scott Adamson is our men's champion at the 45th annual Manitoba 5-Pin Bowling Association Open Provincial Championship.
Yeah, congrats to him. That's a big title to take down. There's some really good shooters out here, and he should be very proud of himself, and he'll be a great rep for this province.
So if you were giving our good friend Scott some advice heading into nationals now, what would that be?
Practice. Work on your weaknesses. Take your time when you're throwing those games between now and then. Get some advice from some more experienced bowlers. Talk to guys who have been there before, And yeah, just make sure that you bowl. It's a muscle memory game. You got to get out there. You got to throw the games. You got to keep going. We're at that time in the season where leagues are ending, so you got to find the time to get out there on your own.
So what would you say about his game going into Gatineau? It's a power game. Is a power game still a popular thing, or is it more of a finesse game now at the national level?
Well, there's always a big contrast in styles. There's some guys that throw it 100 miles an hour, and there's some guys that throw it really slow. It's really just finding what works for you. If I was to say a big thing for him is maybe finding another line. If the line that he throws now doesn't succeed, because when you're doing the qualifying at nationals, I think it's 20 games you throw, so there's a lot of room in there. Even if you do throw a 190 or a 210 and it puts you behind a little bit, you can come out and throw a big game to get you back into it. And having those other lines that you can fall back on, just little things to give yourself a little bit more confidence to get going on a run. Just and work on your mental game. It's great to get fired up, but you need to be able to calm yourself down in situations where things aren't going. And you know what? When he punched those 3 head pins in a row, he was able to compose himself, come back, and finish the job. Yeah,
and that really, I think we can't stress enough how those 3 consecutive head pin punches could have completely derailed that match.
Oh, man. Just thinking for myself here, what I would have done after punching 3 times. You're just trying to stay on the middle. You just finished throwing a turkey, and Trevor's coming at you with a bunch of marks. That was really, really good composure for the young guy there.
Right on. So now that we've wrapped up our men's final, we're moving into our ladies' final, which is featuring Nicole Sumner and Christy Wilson. Of course, Christy Wilson just won the semifinal match over Bailey Moncourt just a few minutes ago, and we're just doing some technical upgrades. Our producer, Ken Wilson, is out and about in the back of the house doing something. We don't know what.
Yeah, he's probably trying to remind everybody about how good he is, and Chrissy's really good, but Ken's really good too. He wants to remind people that he's a really good Wilson too.
Yeah, we should let all of our viewers know that, or let them in on the inside joke that Christy and Ken are brother and sister, and obviously there has been a little sibling rivalry, and that is a bit of an understatement over the years.
Well, I'm told that #BetterWilson has been trending on Facebook and Twitter a little bit. If we could really get that going, I think it could be a thing. And just as an aside here, Nicole was our singles rep last year, so she's looking to make it back-to-back. Chrissy has never been as a singles, or maybe she was back in 2012 according to my notes here, but it has been a while. 2 bowlers with great experience here. Nicole, of course, has the double life. So we'll see if that comes into play. Chrissy's coming in with a little bit of momentum. I feel solid 240, 250 games should be able to do it for you here. Pick up your spares, throw a good shot, just stay relaxed out there.
Would you say that either one of these bowlers a little bit more? Do you have more experience seeing one of the bowlers actually out on the lanes?
Well, I've seen them both probably about the same amount. They both throw a relatively tight shot. They don't have big sweeping shots. They're usually right down the middle. Just whoever can pick up all their pins. It's you got to stay loose. You can't tighten up.
All right. Well, let's get introduced to Nicole Sumner here. She has been awaiting Christy Wilson, who again won the women's semifinal earlier this afternoon, and 2-time defending Manitoba 5-pin ladies singles champion. That's something nice to have on your resume.
Yeah. She's got national gold. She's been the singles rep before. She is more than capable of winning the nationals, and can be pretty intimidating when you come up against somebody that good with that good of a resume, but Christy's no slouch.
Now, I'm not familiar with Nicole's style at all. Would you say it's a finesse game, or is it a power game?
You know what? Her and Christy throw about the same speed. Okay. Nicole kind of flies into her shot a little bit more momentum, a little bit more slide. But they throw with similar speed.
All right, first ball for Nicole on lane 2, right on that head pin out the gate.
No doubt about it. Yeah. See, you go up and you chuck the ball, don't place it. Christy will have to do the same thing. She'll have to answer.
Yeah, that was a very confident first frame, I would suggest, from Nicole.
Yep.
Here comes Christy on lane 1, first ball, looking to match that throw from Nicole. Here's the delivery, bit of a bounce, And that would be a 2. I'm wondering, did that ball drop out of her hand? That seemed a little odd.
Yeah, I think it might have slipped out of her hand a little bit. Again, spareable shot. If you're going to throw a deuce spare, throw it in the first frame. Still worth 30.
You know, this is just great. I love the camaraderie of 5-pin bowlers. Everybody having a good laugh about that. It's a ha-ha, hardy har-har.
Yeah.
And now we move on to the second ball from Christy Wilson looking for the
Oh,
spare.
that was a little bit better.
On the right side, 2-3.
Yeah, you know what, but the shot probably felt a little bit better, and if you're going to go open in the first, find your range, find your speed, take advantage in the second, throw a good shot.
All right, third ball from Christy looking for the pin count, able to pick up the 15.
Yep. Way better shot to finish the frame, throw that exact same shot, and you'll reap the benefits.
All right, so Christy Wilson now coming into frame 2 on lane 2. Again, a much more deliberate delivery, a slower delivery. And here's it down the middle. This looks good on the head pin. Just what she needed.
Yep. Answer's back.
All right, so open in the first, strike in the second for Christy Wilson in our women's final. And now Nicole Sumner coming up on lane 1, frame 2, working on a strike from that first frame. And again, very confident first ball. And again, she's only thrown one ball so far. There's the second ball on that left side.
You know what? That shot was very similar to the first one. Off just a little bit. She doesn't want to change too much. Wants to throw the same shot. The difference was maybe a millimeter.
All right, here's Nicole's second throw in the second frame. Looks like it's on that 5-pin. And able to get an extra bonus pin there, it appears.
Yeah, who knows if that'll come into play. If it's a close match, maybe carrying that 3 on her strike might give her an advantage.
All right corner pin now for Nicole to get that pin count of 15 and left it open.
All right. She wants to forget about that pretty quick. You want to be like a quarterback that just threw an interception. Just want to have a short-term memory.
I'm noticing already that Nicole a much faster bowler in her process than Christy is. Just some of those little idiosyncrasies between the bowlers.
Yeah, you can definitely see she has a big leg drive. So her arm swing and her release is more so to just kind of harness the speed that she generates through her approach, where Christy's a lot more arm. She relies on a lot more movement on the ball to generate her pin action, whereas Nicole definitely uses her speed a little bit more.
All right, Christy Wilson now in frame 3 working on a strike from frame 2. Looks like a good toss.
Placed it.
Yeah, just a little left to that head pin.
Yeah, pressure's getting to her a little bit. She needs to make sure that she throws it. Gets it out over the middle, lets the ball work back a little bit.
All right, second ball now for Christy in the third frame. Looking to get the mark here to build on that strike in the second. Looks like an okay toss. Just missed that head pin.
Yeah, she was trying to work that right pocket, make sure she was going pin side so she didn't get an 8 count. She's got to take this down and just throw a good shot for her next one.
All right, so at this stage of the game, you're just going to try and pick up this 5, get your max pin count, and move on to your next frame here.
Yeah, you can have big swings. Just a few big frames can make all the difference. Just get all the points you can when you're struggling, and then ride the wave when you're going.
You know what the great thing is about just having the head pin left? It doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it. That was a sneaky one. It was a sneaky one.
But you can kind of tell by her body language she didn't really like hitting it that thin. She really wanted to hit that with a really good shot.
Yeah.
Just to give her confidence before this one here.
All right, frame 4 now for Christy, looking to get a good first throw in here. Get that strike ball feel again. And that time, again, I would say, Brett, trying to work that right pocket.
Yeah, you know, she's not really holding her follow through after she throws. You can see her arm falling to her side right after she releases. I think just going back to my youth days, just holding that follow through until the ball gets to the pins could help with her balance, could help with her speed. Just the fundamentals.
All right, looking for the spare here. Obviously going to need a part of that.
That was a big follow through on that one.
That's a big, just a little thick on
that
head pin.
You take that shot though, that's definitely the one you want to throw on your first shot. Corner spares are big. You can carry that into a strike. That is a much, much better shot than she's shown so far this game.
All right, so Christy now just waiting for her ball to come back from the back of the house. Looking for her third throw now in the fourth frame. Definitely going to want to pick up this 2-pin. And again, any opportunity you can get those 2 pins, that's just a confidence builder.
Yeah, for somebody who throws a hook, you can throw your strike shot at this corner. Yep. 2-3
Very
boards
nice.
of movement. That was a good shot.
Yeah.
She can throw that one at the head pin the next frame. She can come back. She's got 70 and 4. She can get a 30 count, have that 105. give herself the building blocks of a decent game.
All right, so Nicole now coming into the fourth frame here, working on a strike in the preceding third frame. Here's that throw right up the gut. Just a little bit left there at the end, had some movement.
Yeah, a little bit quick. We'll see if she can get the spare on this one. It looks like she's just trying to like bury her, you know what I mean? She's looking to throw that big shot, but you just have to relax. And
second ball just outside left of that head pin.
Again, these big swings, if she doesn't pick up a 5 here, Christy's taking the lead in this game, and you wouldn't have said that after her last couple of frames, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting how things can turn very quickly. Oh, and it seems like, now did that 5-pin count? It did, yes. I'm not entirely sure if that was a case of it just grazed and fell down or what, but that was nip and tuck.
Yeah, I think she spun it all the way around and it fell down.
Did a pirouette and then she fell down. Okay, looks like there was maybe some conversation there about that pin throw, but it seems like everybody's good to go. We're now moving into the fifth frame now for Nicole. First ball, outside right. That one you could tell basically right from the get-go before she released it that it was not going to be on that strike head pin.
Just pressing a little bit. She needs to squeeze that ball, get the blood flowing back into her hands. It looks like the nerves are getting to her a little bit.
All right, second throw now. Nicole looking to spare this up. That's in the pocket for sure. Just a little bit of a chop on that head pin.
Yeah, just a little bit thick. That would have been a left corner if that was her first shot. Take this down. She does have the double life, but of course you don't want to use it.
Exactly.
Just throw a good shot here and move on.
That was a bit of a drop shoulder there on that toss.
Yeah, she's going a little quick. She hasn't bowled for a while. Sometimes they say being at the top of the step ladder is a little bit tough because you have to wait it out a little bit. You get a little bit stiff. Yeah. She's going to have to find it soon.
All right, Christy Wilson now. This is frame 5. She is not working on anything. She had an open frame. Looking to get in that pocket. And that would be a strike all the way.
Great shot.
All right.
Looks like she took my advice. I'm glad she listened.
All right, Christy now working on a strike. We're into the 6th frame here at Minnedosa Bowl. Lane 2, Christy's throwing on. Again, we're noticing the best reaction by coming in on that right pocket, and it seems most of the bowlers have picked up on that, and there she snuck it in.
Get it out, let it come back into the head pin. Got a little bit lucky on that one, but she'll take it.
Yeah, now I would think at this point here, Nicole maybe needs to take a breath or two and just take some pause.
Yeah.
Things seem to be getting a little wobbly there in the last frame.
The first instinct is go out there and take it right back, but you don't want to go too fast.
All right, here's the throw from Nicole. And
Big
that
shot.
is a strike. Yeah.
Great shot. Yep. Not backing down. Of course, she's been here before. She won last year. She knows what it takes. Again, you want to answer back. Get another one.
All right, just waiting for the ball to return here. So Nicole is going to be throwing the 7th frame on lane 2 at Minnedosa Bowl. And again, as we saw in the preceding men's final between Trevor Ray and Scott Adamson, that, you know, even you can go 3 consecutive headbin punches and still pull it out. So for Nicole at this stage, just play your game. Just go out there and toss.
Yep, just throw a good shot. Let the pins fall how they may.
That looks like a pretty good one. Just, again, that head pin, boy oh boy, comes back again.
Yeah, she's not done yet in this one. Just throw some good shots. If you don't take this match, you do have the double life. Just try to get some information on the lanes and maybe some of the things that you're doing while you're bowling to be able to come back and take the rest of this match or the next match.
All right, so Nicole now picking up the second 5 of the 3 possible 5s. Now for the 3-2, threw that one on the inside and left them out there. So only a 10 spot in that frame for Nicole.
Yeah.
Christy Wilson now coming into her 7th frame on lane 1. An opportunity here to really build something special as we get into the latter half of this match.
Yeah, I could definitely take a stranglehold with a big shot here.
All right, here's the throw. The delivery looks like it's on the mark. And a head pin. Looks like she was a little left of that, left of her mark, and that just stuck that head pin.
Yeah, just went right through and just drove it straight to the back.
Okay, but again, like we've been mentioning a few times this afternoon, Brett, she is working on double strikes. So pin count, again, very important with this second ball.
Yeah, you know what? When the scores are a little bit lower, when you can get 10 points where you can get it, it's all huge.
Yeah. All right, here comes the delivery from Christy on lane 1, looking to max out her pin count, preferably with a 2-3. Just able to pick up that 2.
Yeah, just overhooked it a little bit, just put it down, and it just went right past the 3 into the deuce. Just take this 5 and throw a big shot your next frame.
All right, third ball in the frame, going for that right side, 3-2, able to punch the 3.
Yeah, so that puts her up by more than 15 at this point. So she can just string some marks together, puts her in a really good position to take the game. You always want to be up 15 or 30, right, to shut people out. You want to make sure that the math works in your favor. Let's see if she can bury it in that right pocket again.
All right, frame 8 now for Christy Wilson on lane 2. Looks like that is on the mark. Just a little soft on that head pin that left up that 2 corner.
Yeah, I think she just wanted to make sure that she hit it on the side. You don't want to punch 2 in a row. You want to make sure that you get something that you can spare, preferably a strike, but that was a decent shot.
All right, opportunity here to put a spare on the card for Christy Wilson. Right corner pin, there's the throw. Looks like she's got it. Outer right half of the 2 pin, but she still goes down.
Well, she throws the hook, so she can get it out a little bit right of the right 2 pin. She doesn't want to get out too much because there's a gutter there, but
yeah.
Executes. She's probably picked that corner 1,000 times. Yeah, good execution.
All right, so Nicole now definitely going to be looking to get some sort of a mark in this frame. And that would be a chop with the 2-3-2 split. We've only seen that, I think, once, maybe twice previously this afternoon.
Yep, just a thick shot that crossed over. She throws a backup ace, so the angle is a little bit tough when you cross over, especially in a house that doesn't carry as well as some other ones. Her best shot is, of course, either thin left side or buried in the right pocket. She's not done yet this match. She needs to realize that she can still take this down. Throw a big shot in 9. Make sure that you show Christy that you're not dead, that you still need to finish this game, and hopefully you don't need to throw that second game.
All right, so just on that third ball there for Nicole, just on the left side, and like we were just saying, a little too far left, hitting the gutter there before the pin. We're now into frame 9 for Nicole. First ball, looking for that right pocket, and had that all the way, just didn't quite get the splash she needed.
Yeah, a little bit too quick. The ball didn't deflect into the deuce, or it didn't hit the right 3 pin thin enough to take it down. So spare here, still keeps her in.
Yeah, another opportunity to show off those corner picking skills, and just a little wide on the right side.
Yeah, if the lane was only 59 feet long, she would have had it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough break there, but she's coming back now. Third ball in the 9th frame, looking to pick up this corner 2. Little on the inside, maybe a bit of a frustration throw there.
Yeah, she needs to regroup a little bit, find a coach, find somebody she bowls with, try to figure out what's going wrong, relax. Somebody needs to remind her that she is a really good bowler. She is capable and she can do it. She just needs that little bit of confidence back.
All right, Christy Wilson, frame 9, is working on a spare in frame 8. Pin count here, definitely vital. Looks like it's on the head pin. Just missed, 5 count.
Yeah, just hooked a little bit off of the head pin. She was on it most of the way down, and then it just hooked to the left 5.
All right, so now Christy going to look for the spare here in the 9th frame. Taking a little more time than she has with her delivery. An extra breath or 2, and it paid off.
Yeah, right pocket. Again, she's getting her best reaction when she can hit that right pocket. So what that's going to require for her for the rest of this game or the next game, she's going to have to get the ball out on the lane and finish.
All right, so Christy here really would like to get a mark, preferably a strike here, to put some real pressure on Nicole in her final frame.
Well, a big count finishes the game here because Nicole's got a max 190.
And that looks
That's all she needs. Yep, she got the ball out a little bit more. It didn't have as much time to work across. The ball still had a lot of good roll in it by the time it hit the head pin, and she got the carry.
Definitely some interaction from the crowd in this women's final here, which has been fantastic. All positive, of course, so that's been great.
Definitely good to see a smile on Nicole's face. I know she might think right now that she blew this first game, but the thing is you earned that double life.
Yep.
You have another game. You can come out and chuck a 300 and take your title. It's not over for you yet.
All right, Christy's throwing her next ball here in the 10th frame.
And that sounded like a head pin.
Yeah, that did.
Yep.
How can you tell that Brett is bowled for a while? He could just tell by the sound of that hit that it was a head pin.
It was also the collective of the crowd as well.
The groans from the gallery.
Yes.
All right, so Christy here is going to be looking for her max pin count, which of course would be all the pins, but for those that aren't familiar with bowling, that's very, very hard with this split. So she's just going to be looking for a 5 count, more than likely.
Yeah, she's already taken this match. It's all just gravy now. You still want to hit your target because she's going to have to throw another one. Nicole just wants to build some momentum, throw 3 good shots. Doesn't matter if it's a head pin and a cleanup. Just throw 3 good shots.
All right, so Nicole here just wanting to get some confidence coming into this sudden death second match that we're going to have in a second. That was a thick strike, but she got that corner 2 to fall down.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I like her reaction to that one because it was a really good shot. She needs to put that in the memory bank and know that she can throw that when it counts.
Yeah, there's 3. You can tell these are toss-away balls here. She just wants to get into that second match.
Yeah, that's tough. I know there's a lot of people out there that just would be like her and just, oh, whatever. But, I mean, those were 3 really good shots.
All on the head
You should
pin.
celebrate those because she needs those for the next game.
All right, so just to recap here, this was the first of a possible 2 matches in the men's final of the 45th annual Manitoba 5-Pin Open Championship. So what happens now is this is it for all the marbles, sudden death, winner takes all.
Yep, whoever wins this match is the ladies representative for Manitoba. She's lost her double life. Now it's just single elimination.
So at this stage of the game, Nicole coming up, just coming off of 2 strikes and a 13 count in that 10th frame. And again, something interesting here. I would have thought that we could have saw a continuation of that head pin hit.
You know, it's like she didn't take in those 3 good shots that she threw. That it was like, oh, whatever. You gotta find silver linings in this game.
Yep.
It is such a game of head pins and splits and corners on good shots. Like any time that you can build anything that gives you confidence, you need to take it.
All right, so Nicole came out with a 5-5 and then a open toss in that first frame of this sudden death match. Christy Wilson, again, she won that first match and has given herself an opportunity to be the ladies rep for the province of Manitoba. Starting her match on lane 2, this is ball 1. Looking for that right pocket, just off the head pin.
Yeah, just put it down. She needs to get it out past those dots, closer to the arrows, to get that pin action she's looking for and to hit her target.
All right, here comes Christy with her second ball. Noticing a bit of a pickup in her pre-throw delivery routine here. Now she's held off a little bit, but she was very quick to pick up her ball. And that looks just a little stiff.
Yeah, you know, speeding up your pre-shot routine, sometimes it can be a little bit of frustration. You didn't get the result you were looking for. You're feeling good coming in, and then you miss. You just got to find a way to bounce back.
All right, Christy now looking to pick up this corner 2.
Oh my goodness.
No. Okay, so now the question is, did the foul line engage? Which it will have because she did fall over it. And for our viewers that may not be familiar with what I'm talking about, Brett, can you recap for us?
Well, anytime you go over the foul line, you get minus 15 points on your end score. If it's a close match, it might come into play. Hopefully she's all right physically. Hopefully she didn't hurt herself on her fall. She can recover. I saw Ian Sylvester fall into the gutter once during the singles qualifying a couple years ago. He didn't throw the ball, so he didn't get a foul. But hopefully she's okay physically and she can bounce back and throw a good shot here. Just get her footing. Have some confidence in her approach, because that's the toughest part after falling like that, is just you're thinking in the back of your mind, oh man, am I going to fall again?
I know, exactly. I couldn't agree with you more, Brett. I've had a few over the foul lines back in my YBC career, and you just can't let that be in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That was a good try, Christy. You could see, though, there was just a little bit of tentativeness when she approached that line on that release.
But still, unbelievable to come back and throw a good shot after falling, after fouling.
Yeah.
You're frustrated. You're mad at yourself. But to come out and get
just off that right corner on the left side. So, again, now she's going to be looking for this pin count here as best she can.
Yeah, you know what? She's got her coach here sitting beside her in between frames, telling her it's all right. There's a lot of game left. Just execute when you go up there next time. We'll get past that foul.
Yep. All right. You know what? I think at this stage of the game, this will be an opportunity for her to come back. shake the cobwebs out and just reset, because really at this stage for her it's almost like starting the game from scratch again.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know if something like that gives Nicole a little bit of life. Say to herself, okay, so I've got 15 pins now that were taken off. Now I just need to come up and throw some good shots.
Head pin punch, I believe, yeah, from Nicole. I also noticed that before Nicole threw her ball, she actually did a practice throw.
Oh yeah, she doesn't want to. Maybe there was a dead spot in the lane. All the bowlers beforehand had not fallen, right? So maybe there was just one spot on the approach. She just wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to hit it. Again, it's all confidence. If you go up there and you have failure in the back of your mind, I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're probably not going to do too well.
All right, so there's Nicole, third ball, getting the count. Now, again, for our viewers that are watching on YouTube Live for the Manitoba 5-Pin Open Championship, we'll want to direct your attention to the final score box on the far right-hand side of the screen. That is the score that we're looking at. Don't pay much attention to that 28 that's next to Christy Wilson due to the foul count. You want to look at that 22 and the 13, just so that we don't have any family members that may be watching getting super excited. But that is the correct score on the far right-hand side.
Yeah, you know what? You never expect to have a foul in a tournament at this level, but it does happen, albeit very rarely. Big shot by Nicole, just to get back on track. Yeah, I think these next couple frames for Christy, she just really needs to get her bearings back and just know that she's not going to go down again.
You know, and I really like what Christy is doing here. She is taking this head on, checking to see if there's a wet mark on the lanes. But I do agree with you, Brett. This next ball for Christy could be the most important ball of the match. This is the lane that she did fall on moments ago. Nice toss, looking for that right pocket. Get off that head pin.
Yep.
Chopped it. That's okay.
You know what? That hit, if she had dropped the ball about a foot closer than she had thrown it out, she would have got a split, maybe even a head pin. She got it out. She had some good stuff on the ball. She carried the chop.
All right, so here's Christy's second ball in the third frame, trying to get the spare on the chop here, looking for the right 3 and 2 pin.
Yep, she throws a hook, so she just puts it right on. She should get it.
Look at that.
Yep.
It's almost like she didn't even think about that.
Yeah, she throws that nice hook. She's got a good 2-3 boards of movement. She throws right at it. She'll get it every time.
All right, so Christy now starting to build something here, going into the fourth frame, working on a spare, now on lane 1, looking for a solid count on this first ball. Here it comes. Looks like it's there.
Good release. Still.
Right corner pin.
Great shot. Great shot. She got it out. She had stuff on it. It looks like the pins aren't carrying too well unless you throw a really hard ball like Scott did in the last match. Got to take advantage of this corner.
Yeah, this would be an opportunity to just build on that confidence as we get into the middle portion of this match here. Just giving the ball return an opportunity for the ball to come back. Christy's going to have a look at it. And now she's going to look for this right corner spare to get herself back on track again in this sudden death second match of our women's final here this afternoon at Minnedosa Bowl. Here's the delivery, looking for that right corner pin.
Nope, just got it a little bit too far. Kind of hooked it, forgot to let go of it.
All right, so now Christy is going to be looking to pick up this 2 pin and pick it up for pin count as we wrap up her fourth frame.
Yeah, she knows she's still in it. She doesn't want to let that foul loom too large. Pick up this deuce, get as much as you can. There's still a lot of bowling left. 6 frames left for her. There's a lot that can happen.
All right, here comes the delivery. Looking to get that pin count just off.
Yeah, twin of her second shot there.
Yeah. Okay, so now we turn the tables over to Nicole. She's coming into her fourth frame, working on a spare back in the third. Again on this second lane, which has proved troublesome here for our finals matches, both in the men's and women's. We've seen a few head pins this afternoon, just off the pocket on the right side.
Yeah, it just looks like she's not focused. She keeps missing the head pin. She's had a lot of opportunities to really grab these last 2 matches, and just hasn't taken advantage.
All right, here we go. This is ball 2 from Nicole. Looks like just off that pocket again on the left side. Punch that 3 out.
Yeah, just get this big pin. It puts her up by 1 in terms of the total score, and you want to be ahead at all costs.
All right, so we're going to look for pin count here from Nicole, looking to pick up all of this if she can and put it through that 3-port.
Yeah, hey, whatever advantage she gained from Christy fouling is gone now. And it's basically a 6-frame game.
Yeah, and again, we want to point out to our viewers that are watching live on YouTube that the score that you want to be paying attention to is the final score. So right now, Christy has 54, Nicole has 50. Coming into her 5th frame, first ball, lane 1, the delivery. And there's that strike that she's been looking for a while now.
Yep. Now here's the difference. We'll see if she feels like it was a fluke or if she really felt good on that shot. If she feels it's something she can replicate in her next shot, it's over. If not, this is still wide open.
Yeah, this will be a good sign of where Christy's head is at coming into this second half of the game. 5th frame now, first ball, lane 2. Looking for that right pocket on Christy's ball, just off the mark.
Yeah, just place it. Didn't get it out. You can see it's kind of coming off of her palm. It's not coming off of the tips of her fingers like she needs it to. She needs that ball to start moving as soon as it hits the lane to hit what she's aiming for.
Would you say that maybe she's not getting the ball far enough out on the lane, or is that not an issue with this, at least this last throw?
You know what? She's just trying to place it. Like,
yeah.
You need
just
to
let
go
it
up
happen
and,
almost.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you don't want to chuck it per se, but you want to throw it a little bit more than she's doing.
All right, this is looking for the spare for Christy in lane 5.
That
this
was
looks
nice. That was a great shot.
There's the ball.
Again, same as Nicole. If she can take that, if she felt good on that shot, if she felt what that shot was, and she can do it again, it's huge.
Yeah,
We're going to have a big battle for these last few frames.
You can see Christy was giving herself a little bit of a pep talk there on camera. You know, yep, that's the one. She was nodding her head. She had her hands out. Okay, I know what I need to do. And again, we're just waiting for the ball to return here so that she can go into her 6th frame. And again, she is on lane 1. And as you have said, Brett, this is a wide open horse race as we come down the home stretch. Here's the delivery. First ball in frame 6 for Christy Wilson.
Ah, that was pretty good. Oh,
just off that head pin.
Yeah, you know what? I still really like that shot. She just needs to get it out right a little bit more. Maybe move her feet to the left a board or two. That was a good shot. It had good movement on it. Just the spot that she hit, she just missed to the left a little bit.
All right, here comes the ball. Noticing that there's a bit of a difference in return time for Christy's ball versus Nicole's ball, and I have to wonder if that extra time to sit and ponder is potentially a negative thing for Christy.
You know what? I would say something like that would be a little bit more negative for Nicole. She's kind of seems to just grab the ball and want to just get out there and get it done.
Nice spare.
Christy seems a little bit more methodical in the way that she approaches the game. She wants to take her time. She thinks about it. She's like, you know what? I really got to throw it out, where it looks like Nicole grabs and she's like, all right, let's go chuck a bomb.
All right, so we're now coming into the 6th frame for Nicole Sentner. Lane 2 working on a strike. And that is a head pin. Again, that second lane, that has been a thing today, Brett.
Yeah, it looks like they're just looking at each other and saying, nope, you have it. Nope, you have it. Nope, you take it.
All right, so now we're in that state of mind where Nicole is just going to be looking to max out her pin count here on this strike. Oh,
yeah,
that was all right.
You see a little bit more urgency in these shots.
Yep.
Before, when she would punch, she'd kind of just go up and be frustrated and throw, but she knows the way the match is setting up, she needs to get every single pin.
All right, so Nicole now looking to clean this up, get those final 5 points out on the deck, punch the 3.
Yeah, well, she throws her back up. She's more apt to punch the right 3 rather than the left 3 when she goes for those 5s. But another board of movement, she would have got them both. But it's a 1-pin match now.
All right, back to lane 7 here for, lane 1 for frame 7 for Nicole. Here comes the delivery. Looks like it might be on that head pin, and it was. Very nice.
Thin shot, left pocket, carries.
All right, so here comes Christy. Christy is working on a spare, and we're now into her 7th frame. You can see the score at the top of your screen there, 103 to 89 in favor of Nicole Sentner. And here comes Christy on lane 2, first ball in frame 7.
Got it out, got it on the head pin.
Looked for the bust and got it.
Huge.
That'll be a big confidence booster for her coming back over to this lane 1.
You know what? It's amazing. You bowl with somebody for so many years. As soon as she threw that ball, Ken started nodding. because he knew that was the shot. You know what I mean? And she knew it.
Yeah.
Bob knew it. Ken knew it. The whole house knew it. That was a massive shot.
Yeah, that was a big, big shot for Christy here, who now has put a strike on top of that spare and continuing to look to build. She's on lane 1 in frame 8. And now we'll wait and see what the delivery on this one looks like. Again, for Christy, she wants that right pocket to have a chance at a strike. Just a shade off that head pin.
Yeah, just overthrew it a little bit. She's feeling the momentum a little bit. She just needs to calm down. Just needs to execute.
All right, ball 2, frame 8 for Christy. Again, pin count's important here because she is working on a strike. Spare would be beautiful. And just missed it.
Just a little bit of that backhand movement, just missed it a little bit. That was similar to her first shot in the frame before the strike. Just missed it just a little bit.
And with how tight this game, this pin count on this head pin is going to be important. She'll want to pick this up.
Yeah.
And with ease.
That was a great shot. That was a great shot. She needs to throw that 1 in 9 and 10, and she's got a real good chance here.
All right.
This is going to be a great finish.
All right. So Nicole now coming into her 8th frame. Currently 41 points back, but she is working on a strike. We'll see what she can build here on this second lane, which has been problematic for some of our bowlers today. Yeah. And unfortunately continues to, and I do have to say, it seemed right from the release that was destined to be a head pin. It just looked thick right from the go.
Well, that was her 3rd punch in 4 frames on this lane. Yeah, I don't know what you do. You don't want to move too much because you want to stay on the middle, but that's a huge, huge opening for Christy.
All right, so Nicole now is going to be working on getting this pin count here to put herself in a position in the last 2 frames to max out as best she can. Obviously, she is going to be finishing on this second lane, which has proved troublesome.
Yeah, you know, she's thrown a better shot on this first lane. I'm not sure if it's just the sight lines or whatnot, but if she can bury this one, we're going to have a real interesting finish.
Yeah, here we go. So now we're back on lane 1. Nicole has had much better luck on this lane. First ball, looking for that strike. And that would be another... Oh, boy.
Yeah. Almost got that Scott Adamson chop out of the punch, but just didn't quite have the momentum to carry that 3.
So that was a head pin 2 count, and now looking for the count more than likely on that 2-3. Punch the 3.
You know what? When Christy went down in that frame, I thought it was over. It'd be tough to come back from that, but she definitely proved in the middle there. Just string together some marks, give yourself the best chance, and the ball's completely in her court. She can just take the match in these last 2 frames.
Yeah. This will be a good opportunity here for Christy to put an immense amount of pressure on Nicole, but really, again, you got to do it. She has to come out here, play her game, and get a good toss.
Yeah, she can win the game. She's up right now. If she goes 30-30, she's pretty much done it.
There's that throw, right pocket she needs. That was a thick head pin, but it turned out okay.
Yeah, big spare. Nicole's got a max of 181. If she gets a spare in this frame, all Christy needs is a good hit on her next shot, and it's pretty much done.
All right. Right corner pin pickup is what Christy Wilson is looking for here. Here comes the delivery. Looks like it's just off.
Okay, still got to pick it up. Match this close, you need to get that deuce.
Yeah, this is one of those finishes where every point, it sounds so cliche, but every pin is going to count in this match.
For sure, for sure. She can get 15 in her next frame for 172. If she gets a 30, that puts her up, and Nicole can't come back. So, I mean, you hate to say that, oh, this pin doesn't matter, but you can build some momentum from this, get some confidence.
There we go. Corner pins have been proving a little troublesome for the ladies this afternoon, too, as well as those head pin punches. So,
yeah. You know what, though? Chrissy's a vet. She knows if she finishes this frame, if she gets a spare or a strike, she wants to try to keep this one thin so she doesn't punch the head pin. Give herself something spareable or even throw a strike.
All right, looking for right pocket here from Christy. And that would be a strike.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So now she needs 10, and she shuts Nicole out.
All right, very important ball here for Christy Wilson, looking to secure a win in this sudden death second match. Here's the delivery. Needs a 10 count.
That's it.
And
Provincial champ right there. Yep.
The opportunity now to
throw from the back, Christy. Do not go to the foul line.
put the cherry on the cake here and see what kind of pin count she finishes with here on this final
throw
throw
from
for
the back.
Christy Wilson.
Throw from the back. Don't go even close. Thank goodness.
And that was pretty much what she did.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm
In
her,
bowling
I'm
terms,
rolling
she-
one. I'm
bowling
rolling one
terms,
from the pit there.
she was
Especially if
way
I had
back.
gone down earlier in the game.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that one from way in the back.
All right. So
Jeez.
So Nicole Sentner coming up here now on lane 2. This is her final frame. Can max out at a 181. And there's strike number 1.
Yeah, that was a big celebration. I'm not sure. Pretty sure this match is over. I'm not sure if we're matching the scores here. If we're having some technical difficulties.
Okay, so that's off on the left side there. But yeah, we've got our score set here at 182 for Christy.
Yeah, that's
Nicole wrapped up with a 161. And again, that was the second sudden death match in the women's final for the 45th annual Manitoba 5-Pin Open Provincial Championship. Christy Wilson downing Nicole Sentner in 2 matches, and now our provincial rep, Brett.
Yeah, that's a great representative for this province. She's been there so many times. She's a great bowler, great bowling family. It's really nice to see her be our singles rep.
You know, and I think the takeaway here for bowlers and non-bowlers alike that we're watching is Christy did come back from that foul early in the match.
Oh man, unbelievable to have the composure, to get up and come in and finish that game, get your pins, not let it derail your entire game. That's amazing.
Right on. Well, we're just coming down the home stretch here at Minnedosa Bowl. Of course, we're going to have a awards ceremony, and there's going to be a lot of hugs. There might be some tears. There's going to be a lot of laughs later, that's for sure. But we want to say to all of our viewers this afternoon on YouTube and everyone that's going to watch this at a later date, thank you so much for joining us for the 45th annual Manitoba 5-Pin Bowling Association 5-Pin Provincial Championships. Again, to review, Scott Adamson will be representing the men for the province of Manitoba at Nationals, and Christy Wilson will be representing the women for the province of Manitoba, again happening at Gatineau, Quebec, not that far from now, May 29th to June 3rd. So for my co-host and color commentator Brett Hendrickson, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Also a big thank you to everybody at Minnedosa Bowl. You did a fantastic job over the weekend. Ken Wilson, our producer. We bid you adieu, good luck, and good bowling.